how do we implement a walking robot? It probably isn't very practical, but just as a problem.
The fleeting suggestion posed by our electrical engineering professor had found itself stuck in our minds.
Well, there's a horizontal component and a vertical component. They both need to be addressed by the same movement. We can do that by pairing sprockets together and aligning sets of them along the same belt. That ought to do the trick.
And that was the beginning. We assembled our little contraption, but had no means of aligning the two sides together. So they'd walk forwards a short distance, but then devolve into misaligned chaos. That was when we came across encoders. We thought that if we stuck the encoders along the chain on each side, we could use a PID loop to make a corrective aligning program. Unfortunately, the point of correction wasn't measuring at an accurate enough rate for us to use and correct the bot. And so the bot would eventually fall out of order. Then, one of us had an epiphany. We could use limit switches to align the entire bot. Now, using Arduinos with the limit switches is thoroughly impractical, since it has no clue about how to deal with interrupts. On the other hand, MATLAB doesn't have that issue. We could easily program the limit switches to align both sides of the bot. We were also able to use Simulink in chunks to allow our more mechanically inclined teammates to code in parallel, since it has a rather intuitive GUI software. Our limit switches are coded so that if one leg hits a switch, it has to wait until the other one does as well, at which point they continue walking forward. And there you have it, a moving bot. But how do you make this climb stairs? This is an issue that deals with distribution of weight. It requires the bot to be forward heavy. To do this, we had to cleverly position our motoring and electronics so that they'd always be favoring the front of the robot. We also had to keep the front flat and smooth to make sure it was always aligned. And after a few iterations and several test runs with the coordinate, we had a robot that climbed stairs.